Well, a lot of you have noticed my camera car in recent months, quite a few recent months, has been a Mahindra. And I'm getting all sorts of questions about it. Probably the number one question is, what's it like on the beach, Roothy? And I couldn't quite work that out until I realised that Queensland Parks and Wildlife Service was starting to run Mahindras on the beach up at Fraser Island, places like that. Now, that twigged a whole lot of interest for me, but the Mahindra itself has been twigging interest for me. Now, before I go any further, I need to say this, just because I know a whole lot of people are going to write silly things here. I am not paid by Mahindra, no way at all, and I'm not paid by Westpoint. Westpoint supplies my camera cars, and when a smart big city outfit like that, one of the top tier dealerships in Australia, decides that they're going to take on Mahindra, the lights have got to go on a little bit. And that's basically what this is about. You've got the oldest four-wheel driver journo in Australia trying to get ahead of the wave, because I think this is a whole new wave coming through. I'm going to give you a few tips as to that over several of these clips. This one's just going to concentrate on the beach, but it's kind of hard not to start dropping a few tips along the way. Righto, now what makes the Mahindra made in India suitable for Queensland beaches, for Australian beaches and for sand driving? Well, first of all, you know what? My mate Matt Haydos, he loves fishing and he's got a Mahindra and he uses it on the beach and he reckons it's awesome. Why? A whole lot of reasons. First of all, what you're looking at here is a much more industrial version of a dual cab than the things you're used to. You know, the monocoque, Pajeros and Prados and all the rest of it. This thing is built on a full ladder chassis. It's got leaf suspension at the rear. It's got a full 1 tonne carrying capacity up the back. It's also got a 2.2 litre diesel with no cam belts. It's got a proper chain drive, the sort of stuff I love, to be honest, that's based on a tractor engine. That's because Mahindra is the world's largest tractor seller. Did you hear that? They sell more tractors in the whole world than any other company. Now, that's probably a good reason why you haven't had a whole lot to do with Mahindra, unless you're a farmer. But I can tell you that that motor, which is it shares a whole lot of parts with the tractor engine, is beautifully smooth, beautifully quiet, and it's got a couple of tractor-like characteristics that make it work on the beach. One is, it's really torquey. It's got a lovely torquey feel, it's so relaxed, and the other is, it's really cheap on fuel. Those kind of things make me very happy, I can tell you. It also has a mechanical, self-actuating Eaton rear locking diff. Now, how does that work on the beach? I'll tell you how it works, because even a bunny can back it up and drive away in soft sand and probably not even realise the diff lock came on. That is a major point in its favour, I can tell you. But there's a whole lot of other things too, from the floor height to the fact that it's got big windows to the fact that your rear seat passengers have got buckets of room and they're looking out big windows. This is, at the end of the day, a really practical vehicle. Now, I'm not the only one to have realised this, obviously. There's dealerships all over Australia suddenly wanting to get on the Mahindra wagon, if you want to call it that, and there's a lot of good reasons for it. There's a good reason why Queensland Parks and Wildlife Services are starting to use Mahindras. It's because they care about the environment at the end of the day. And do you know what? You take a 79 series Toyota Trayback with a V8 engine and then compare it to the Mahindra with its 2.2, it'll carry all the same stuff, maybe slightly slower, you know. It'll do exactly the same job, a whole lot easier because it's lighter. And at the end of the day, the running costs are probably going to work out about a third. And that's before you chuck in the initial price. You can get two of these for the price of one of them. Roughly, okay? Things like, I rang a few mates. One of my mates up there on the service crew told me that, and I knew this, with the Land Cruisers, they basically have to replace the front discs and pads every 5,000 Ks. Constant abrasion, rust, all the rest of it, you know, and it wears the discs out, and that's it. How are you going with the Mahindras? Well, we're not really sure. We've got over 12, 13, 14,000 Ks on. and we still haven't got there, but it's coming up soon. What we have found out is that when we do machine the discs on the Mahindra, because they're so big and solid, they go back on the spare parts counter. They get another run out of them. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why I like the Mahindra on the beach. One of them is just the sheer relaxation of driving something as easy as this to drive on the beach. This has got a 6-speed manual, and when you put that into low range through a Borg & Warner transfer case, we're not talking cheap components here. We've got the best of everything. And you put that into a beach or a sand environment, you know, the inland tracks through islands, stuff like that. You're just jogging along in your selection of gears. I'm taking off, this is a 6-speed manual, I'm taking off in 2nd or 3rd. I'm happily scooting down the beach. 6th will take you 60, 70 kilometres an hour if you want it, or you can just go into high range when the tide's out. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a gear for every situation. So, so far, I can see why people are getting excited about the Mahindra as a beach, as a sand island vehicle. Stay tuned, folks, because I'm going to try and blag a Mahindra for a whole lot longer to see what it's like in the outback, to see what it's like mechanically, and a whole lot of other reasons. Why? Because I finally think someone has come up with something that's sort of, I might replace my old Toyota with one day. I better not say that too loud, but have a look, you'll be surprised.